Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Oh, welcome to my channel. It's week 7 of the Full Deck Challenge 4 being hosted by Shinki Art. I'll leave a link to her introductory video down below. And the prompts for this week are pocket, napkin, book page, coral color, zigzag, tree, dark blue. And I think we're gonna end up doing several of those. We'll see what we manage to accomplish. I've got part of an idea, but not the whole idea. So I've got my card. I've got some. I'm going with tissue instead of napkin, but it's pretty much the same thing. So this is tissue paper, and I want to do 2 layers, but I also want to stamp on the 1 layer. And I've got an Inkadinkado tree stamp from ages ago, and I'm going to stamp it using Twilight Versafine Clair, which is a dark blue. So to stamp about there on the piece of paper, so we're gonna do this. Of course, once I lift it up to ink it, I won't know where I'm supposed to be stamping it again. All right, does this block will work? I'm gonna put a very light line right there. Stamped pretty good. I'm going to use my heat tool to get it dry. All right, now we are going to grab our card. We are going to grab something that's not here and our matte medium. All right, I'll be right back. I got my distress collage brush. We're going to put some matte medium on our playing card. Now you can use your wet glue of choice on here. You can do Mod Podge, collage medium, whatever you like. I happen to like my Liquitex matte medium. All right, we're going to put that straight, put that down, and then smooth from the center outward. Yeah, we're going to fold that over and glue that on. Now, if you're going to stamp and use a wet glue on top, you're going to need to use either StazOn, Versafine Clair, like a pigment ink, or like a StazOn or an archival ink, because they will be permanent when dry. If you use a distress ink, your ink will move. Now, if you're okay with having your image be a little fuzzy, then go for it. That's fine. But if you want it to stay crisp and not blur, you can't use a dye-based ink for your stamping. All right, I'm gonna set this aside, let it dry, go clean off my brush, and then I'll be back. Okay. So it's all dry, and I've pulled out some other stuff to use on this project, and let's go ahead and trim off our excess tissue. Now, for our pocket, I want to use this dark blue ribbon. We'll just do a pocket at the bottom. And I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Let's just kind of go on here instead of on the ribbon. Had a moment to dry. Now we need to make something to go in our pocket. So while that's drying, we'll work on what's going in the pocket. And I've pulled out, these are a digital by GingerJournals. I'll leave a link down below. And I do need to finish cutting out some spots on this one. So I need a base piece for it. Let me grab some scrap cardstock. All right, so I found a piece of coffee dyed paper. We are gonna trim this down to, start at 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. See if that will fit into our pocket. Okay, we need to go a little narrower. There we go. I think I'm gonna take it down a hair shorter too. So our mushrooms are gonna go on there and they just fit. I wanna use some of this, which I found when I was looking for something else. Let's round the corners on this. And then I've got some book page, and I figure we could use the section that has the word fungus. I think debating just gluing this on and then trimming the excess. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's grab a tearing ruler. Alright, so I think I want to kind of tear it at a bit of an angle, give it a little bit more interest. Now, I want to not leave this color, and I think I want to pull in the dark blue. So I want to test that out on here. Trying Chip Sapphire Distress Oxide. Let's see how that looks on here. Versus Uncharted Mariner. I think we're going to do a blend of both. So we're going to start. I'm just going to do, that's Uncharted Mariner. Let's do the Chip Sapphire. uncharted mariner to that. And then we're going to go crazy and get some abandoned coral distress oxide and do the edges with that. Figure out the edge once we figure out our exact placement. Okay, let's bring this over. I think we're going to go like that. That. Just trying to decide, do I want it there or do I want this lower so that we see the word fungus? I think we want lower, and I think I want less. We need a label across the bottom or a number or something. All right, that needs inking. And I'm really seriously considering just putting some abandoned coral and then doing the dark blue on the edges. Let's see how that looks. Worst comes to worst, we don't like it, we can swap it out for something else. Dark blue on the edges. I'm grabbing Uncharted Mariner Distress ink. Like that. I like this color combo too. Let's bring over our card. We can pocket needs some jazzing up. So I have grabbed, where did it go? Some interesting rickrack. Like it's got a slightly different pattern to it than regular rickrack, and I think this qualifies for zigzag. So let's put some of this on. So let's go ahead and trim it. And I think I'm gonna stick this little guy on there because yeah, it needs that. All right, let's not the clue on the top bit, since it's a little taller than our pocket. I really like how this came out. And then we'll pull it out and we've got our tree. And I think instead of putting a piece on the back of there, I'm just going to do the journaling on the back of this. Today is February 14th. Let's do it on our sheet. So there we go. Week 7 is done. And we've got our ribbon pocket. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that let YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.